Remember when there was strike-specific loot? When Sparrows had horns? Or when you could drive pikes in the Crucible? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Destiny has been out for nearly 10 years now, and so many improvements have been made in that time. I recently came out with a video of 50 of the best improvements made in Destiny, and in that video I compared where Destiny 1 is currently to where Destiny 2 is at this time, which is shortly after the release of the final shape. And while I was collecting gameplay footage for Destiny 1, I started discovering some things that Destiny 1 actually did better than Destiny 2 in my opinion. And there wasn't a ton of things, definitely not 50 like the other video, but still enough to qualify for its own video. So same with the last video, I won't be covering specific gear or story content. I mainly just wanted to cover the structure and certain features that aren't present in Destiny 2. So with the list being in no particular order, I present 15 things Destiny 1 did better than Destiny 2. The tone. So the general tone of Destiny 1 felt a little more mysterious. The planets seemed to have so much more character, and the art style was a bit darker and more grim compared to the bright and colorful Destiny 2. Playing through it again recently myself, the dreary tone and art style mixed with the slightly slowed down gameplay really gives Destiny 1 its own identity. Repeatable missions. Ever want to replay a specific mission from one of the campaigns? Well, in Destiny 2, you are only able to do that with campaigns released from the Witch Queen and beyond. Destiny 1, on the other hand, has every single mission ever released listed on all of the planets. And although the map might be a little congested with every mission plastered about, the fact that you can replay absolutely everything gives Destiny 1 a slight advantage over 2. Strike-specific loot. Something the community is always talking about is strike-specific loot. In Destiny 1, and even early Destiny 2, certain strikes had weapons and class-specific armor that could only be acquired from that strike. These gave strikes their own unique loot chance, and gave us another reason to grind for them. While I was recording this video, I actually got some strike-specific gauntlets for my hunter that I never acquired before. Even though I don't really play Destiny 1 anymore, I was actually pretty excited to get them. So I guarantee this will be a welcome feature to return to Destiny 2. More consumables. Destiny 2 seems to have moved away from many consumable items over time, and now it's just kind of a catch-all for any item that isn't an actual piece of gear. But something about having an inventory of items that I can use to help me in the game just appeals to me. Things like ammo synthesis to refill a weapon slot, 3 of coins to get an exotic drop from a boss, any number of glimmer increasing items, and even telemetry that helps you upgrade certain guns quicker. All of these just help add to the RPG elements of Destiny. Artifacts. Now in my Destiny 2 improvements video, I said I liked the artifacts in Destiny 2 more because they freshened up the sandbox every few months. But I find a lot of charm out of the Destiny 1 artifacts. There is such a variety of them, ones that drop orbs of light from killing certain enemy types, ones that give your screen a certain color tone, one that keeps your radar when aiming, and so many more. My favorite still being the ability to turn certain enemies to your team to fight alongside you. I wish they could implement this feature in Destiny 2 somehow. The Gunsmith. So the Gunsmith played a more prominent role in Destiny 1. Instead of bounties like in 2, he just had test weapons that had certain objectives in them. Once completed, you gained Gunsmith reputation. You could use the reputation to order legendary guns from Banshee. Every Wednesday, which was called Arms Day, was when your weapon orders would arrive. This was an easy and consistent way to get some legendaries every week with some new random perks. And it all just made the Gunsmith feel a little more useful. Sparrows. So Destiny 2's Sparrows might be quicker and there might be more variety, and they even have new flying hoverboards known as skimmers, but something about Destiny 1's Sparrows make them feel much more useful. And perhaps that was because of the slower gameplay, but it just felt like there was so much more variety to Sparrows. Whether it be the raid Sparrows having a special function that lets them have an overdrive effect that boosts speed and destroys the vehicle in the process, or being able to launch your Sparrow into a crowd as some kind of mobile bomb, and all the way to having Sparrow horns. Sparrows just had so much going on. Side note, if you want to learn about the history of Sparrows throughout Destiny, and what they can do to help compete against skimmers in the current Destiny 2 landscape, I actually made a video discussing that topic, and I'll have it up on the screen right now. SRL. So speaking of so much going on with Sparrows, Sparrow Racing League was a cool, fun minigame that people generally enjoyed. I mean, just look on any forum, there's always some kind of thread talking about bringing SRL back and how the community would love it. Just being able to take a break from all the serious Destiny gameplay to just speed around and race some people was a fun feature that is sorely missed, and it just made Sparrows feel even more integral to the game's ecosystem. Factions. Factions were present in Destiny 2 for a little while, but they were implemented differently and weren't very well liked, so they were removed. However, in Destiny 1, factions played a more prominent role. You could pledge to a faction and gain reputation with them for doing activities while wearing their class item. Ranking them up unlocked rewards unique to said faction, from guns to cosmetics to even an exotic class item for grinding to rank 25, which I actually remember doing that on all 3 factions years ago, and yeah, it was a grind. Strike updates. Another area of Destiny 1 that got a lot more love and purpose was the strike playlists. For both major expansions, there would be a new playlist updated to incorporate the new enemy types into a strike. It was interesting because you could be playing a normal strike that you're used to, when suddenly there was an alternate path with new enemies and objectives. It kept the strike playlists feeling fresh, as well as making the storylines at the time feel more impactful. I know we've had a few strike refreshes in Destiny 2, but the game would really benefit if we went through most of the strikes, added new alternate paths, and threw in some of the enemy types that were added since that strike was in the game, such as the Scorn, Lucent Hive, or even the Dread. Combined Arms. This may be a divisive one, but as a long-time Halo player, I really miss Combined Arms. It was a 6v6 playlist that incorporated Sparrows, enemy vehicles like Pikes and Interceptors, and even mounted turrets. The maps it was played on were the biggest in Destiny's history, and it was such a great experience with friends. Such a change of pace from the more close quarters feeling of all the other playlists in Destiny's history. Even just playing a few matches of it for this video, I had an extremely fun time, and it made me miss it even more. It's really time for a big team battle playlist again, Bungie. Funny enough, after writing this, Bungie talked about a new playlist coming to the Crucible Labs that's 8v8, so that's actually more than Combined Arms even had. Now here's hoping they'll import some of the old maps from Destiny 1. We may finally get our big team mode that we've been wanting. End of activity screen. Another divisive feature of Destiny 1 was the activity wrap-up screen. After an activity, you would see your details like your quest progression and stats, but also you and everyone else on your team's rewards. People didn't enjoy the rewards because the best player could get nothing, while the worst player could get an exotic. It was completely random, but something about having a slot machine style screen at the end of the game was exciting and fun. Oh wait, never mind, this sucks. Shrier Seekers. Here's a funny one that most people probably forgot about. The lethality of Shriekers, and especially the Shrier Seekers. People might disagree, but I actually miss how deadly and menacing Shriekers were. They hit really hard, and once they died, they shot out 4 slow but deadly Seekers that would follow you around and kill you when you least suspected it. Challenging? Yes. But sometimes challenging can be fun and exciting. Weekly Rotators. So a very small feature I miss is having the weekly Rotator missions on the main screen of the Director. Being able to see what the pinnacle activities are would be a welcome change for Destiny 2. If you could just log on and look at the Director's screen and see all of the main pinnacles for the week, like the weekly story missions, the weekly dungeons, and raids, and all that, it would be such a welcome change. Hell, even using the old milestone screen that nobody uses would be a great place to compile all the weekly challenges. This is a simple feature I miss, and I believe it would be very beneficial to Destiny 2. And the last thing that Destiny 1 does better is that everything is playable. Now, Destiny 2 has had way more content over time, that's no surprise, it's lasted double the time of Destiny 1 so far. But the downfall of having that much more is the game becomes unstable, and some of it needs to be removed. 4 campaigns, multiple planets, every seasonal activity ever, seasonal stories, season passes, as well as many raids and strikes and Crucible maps have been removed from Destiny 2. And yes, Destiny 1 was only active for 3 years, but all of its content is there to play. You get a complete package. All story missions, raids, strikes, maps, and stories are all there in one place. I actually recently uploaded a video discussing a wild armchair dev idea I had to reintroduce missing Destiny content into one package. So if you're interested in that, I'll have that on the screen now. So that was 15 things Destiny 1 did better than Destiny 2. What was your favorite Destiny 1 feature? Let me know in the comments below. And if you made it this far, that means you'd probably be interested in my video for 50 improvements made in Destiny 2 compared to Destiny 1. I'll have that video on the screen now. And if you enjoy Destiny, Halo, or any other gaming related videos, consider subscribing and checking out my channel. I'd really appreciate it. And with all that said, thank you for watching.